Queen Street this afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. One of you could just spend a couple of minutes to listen to some of the things I want to talk about. I'm going to paint up on my board. I want to ask you a question this afternoon. I want to ask you probably one of the most important questions you could ever be asked. And it's, to answer it for ourselves is a really, really important thing. I'm going to write up on my board in some black paint. Hopefully some yellow letters should appear on the board. This is the question I want to ask this afternoon. The question I want to ask this afternoon is, what is your truth? I don't know if you know, there was a band from Wales called the Manic Street Preachers a few years ago, did an album called This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. But let me ask you the question, what is yours? What are you basing your life upon? What are you building your life upon? Some of those, maybe you sit up late at night, some of those big questions, like who are we? Where do we come from? What's the whole point in life? Where are we going? Maybe you sit up sometimes and you think about those questions. I think you should, because sometimes we can just let life drift past, we can just let it go, and we don't really think about it or figure out what's going on. We need to ask and we need to answer those questions. Let me just give you a few things this afternoon that you may be building your life upon. First one is this. First one is science. Maybe you're the sort of person that really thinks that science has all the answers to everything, has all the answers to everything we could ever want to know or need to know. You're one of those kind of people who thinks all those experiments we do in the labs, all the stuff we find out, that tells us what life's about. That tells us what the meaning of life is. Now, I'm not here to tell you this afternoon that science is a load of rubbish, because it's not. Science is real, science is good, science has really helped us an awful lot. But what I do want to say is I don't believe and I don't think that you ought to build your whole life upon science. The problem with science is this. At one point in time we go and do some experiments, we find out some things. From those experiments we decide, well, this is the meaning of life, this is what we're about, this is where we came from, this is where we're going. Then a few years later we actually do some more experiments and we find out, well, we weren't quite right back then. So actually this is the way life is, this is where we come from, this is where we're going. Then a few years later we do it again and it keeps changing, and it keeps on changing over and over and over again. Science has never ever answered us the questions of why and what are we doing and where are we going. It never has, and I don't believe it ever will. Second thing, and I think this is far more dangerous, but this is what a lot of people build their lives upon. Second thing people build their lives upon is opinion. I know when I was a student, in our flat, we used to sit up really late at night and we talk all about the meaning of life. Why are we here? Where are we going? And we come up with all kinds of theories, we come up with all kinds of ideas. Maybe this is it, maybe that's it, maybe this is what it's about, maybe the other thing. And a lot of people do that, but then they start building their life on the stuff that they've come up with late at night after you've been out for a night out, you're a bit tipsy. No offence, but that's daft. Why are we building our lives upon things that we've thought up? Now, I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm not out here on Queen Street today to give you my opinion and say believe me and build your life upon it. I'm not here to do that because I don't know. I don't know what the truth is. I'm a small guy with quite a small brain relatively. I can't figure it out. I don't believe, in fact I believe it's a really dangerous thing just to build our lives on people's opinions and on what people think up and say that the meaning of life is. Last thing that people can build their lives upon, and it might surprise you when I write it up, that I don't believe you should build your life on this last thing, but lots of people do, is this. Lots of people build their lives on religion, religious teachings, religious gurus and people who come up with all these teachings and written down loads of books and stuff over the years. People say I'm going to build my life upon that. Now probably if I told you this afternoon to build your life on religion, you come straight back to me and say, well, hasn't religion caused all the wars and all the fights and all the problems and all the difficulties in history? And you know what? You'd probably be, some of that would be true. You'd be right to a certain degree. Religion has caused a lot of problems in our world. I'm not here this afternoon, and if you'll bear with me just one more minute, I'm here to tell you about someone, not a thing, not a teaching, not a book, but a person that I believe you can build your life upon this afternoon. A person who was different to any of us out here today. And often when we paint his name up, people get scared and run away. You don't need to do that. But this person, he claimed to be the one you can build your life upon. This is his name. 2,000 years ago, a man called Jesus stepped into this world. He was a normal human being, but he was different. He was born in Bethlehem, grew up in Nazareth as a carpenter, but then when he was 30 years old, he started doing some stuff that no one else has ever done. He started teaching some of the most profound things that have ever been taught on the face of this earth, things that we still remember today, things that influence life today. He started doing miracles. He started doing things that people you just can't do. He started healing blind people, telling lame people to get up and walk. He started raising dead people, walking on water, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? Jesus came down to earth and he made some really, really serious claims. He said this phrase, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father, or no one comes to heaven except by me." He made some really serious claims. He claimed to be the one who could deal with our biggest problem as human beings. You know our biggest problem in our world today? It's a little three-letter word that we don't like very much, but it's sin. The stuff that we do wrong that we know we shouldn't do, the stuff that we should do right but we don't do it, that's our biggest problem. Jesus came down and he said he came to deal with it. The way he dealt with it wasn't just by teaching and doing miracles. The way he dealt with it was quite surprising. He came, and the main reason he came was to die. When Jesus was 33, he was hung up on a Roman cross to die. But as he was hanging there, as he was giving his life, he was doing something incredible, something amazing that you wouldn't have understood if you were there. As he was hanging there, he was taking the punishment that I deserve for my sin. The stuff that I've done wrong, that I know I've done wrong, deep down we all know we're sinners. No one's perfect. But that stuff deserves punishing, that stuff deserves death. As Jesus hung on that cross, he loved you and he loved me enough to take that punishment in your place. And he made it possible, he made a way that you could be completely forgiven. Everything you've ever done wrong, you could have the slate completely wiped clean. And the greatest thing of all, you could know that when you die, when you pass through from this life into the next, you won't pass through and go to a place called hell, which is about punishment, but you'll go to a place called heaven, which is paradise for eternity. That's why Jesus said, and he claimed to be the one you can build your life upon, because he came, and he came to die so that you could have life, so that you could have eternity in paradise. The reason Jesus can give eternal life as a gift, he didn't stay dead. He was buried in a tomb for 3 days, and on the third day, he was raised from the dead. He's alive today. Right now, he's alive. And that means he can save anyone who comes to him. Anyone who says, "Jesus, I'm a sinner. I've messed my life up. Will you save me? Will you take me to heaven?" He's promised to save anyone who comes to him. You can do that today. Hope these things have made sense this afternoon. Thank you for listening. If you want a leaflet, please come and just grab one off me. Or if you want to ask questions, please come and do that. Otherwise, hope you have a good rest of the day. And God bless you. Thank you.